Okay, so this is how you make a procedural Rust shader in Blender that you can also bake to texture. So I will be doing it for this bumper right here. So Control C. I put it into a new Blender just because this one has screencast keys and it's easier to work in a new workspace for me. As you can see, it has AO Bake. So I would suggest that you do this with the AO Bake because it will look better, but that's not necessary. You can also do it without an AO Bake. So first off is you go into edit mode, select all, and then you will hold down Alt, E, extrude along normals. Now you do this very little. So for example, yeah, this is good enough. This is just so it's a bit above the model and it doesn't like no Z fighting with the faces. It doesn't look weird in whatever game I will be using it for. So then you click, you have to be here on the face select, then you click, hold down Control, click E, and then delete the other faces. So now you just have this extruded mesh. And I will put another one in here. This is a bit bigger. So the shader we will be making is Procedural Rust. As you can see, it will look like this. So something like this. The spots may not be the exact same, but should be similar enough. And it's very laggy because I put it's pretty high quality. And then this shader you can use as a base to basically just bake to whatever. Here's yeah, Blender does not want to cooperate today. Here you can see it very, very up close. I think it looks decent. If it doesn't to you, then click off the video, make edits to the shader, I don't know. So now we are going to be making the shader itself if only Blender stops lagging. I pull this out. This is the one with the shader. This will just be there for later. But so I go into shading here. This I will show later how it's set up, but you need to have cycles. I have it on GPU because my CPU is weak. Samples is usually good to have. This is not necessary. And then the bake, you will need it like this combined. Size, it's the margin is, I put it on 2 pixels. It doesn't really matter, but whatever. So first off, you make a new shader. And then of course go into material preview so you see what you are doing. Then we will start to make the actual Rust first, which is going to start with a principled BDSF. And then you add a bump node like this. Goes into the normal. I am watching on another screen how exactly I made the shader. That's why I'm not explaining everything word for word. Multiply. Oh, this is the wrong. It's the math node. You need the math node and put this to multiply somewhere. There we go. And this value into the height of the bump. I put the strength to 10, but all of these values you play around with however you want. Doesn't matter. So then we need a color ramp. We will need many of these, but first off, we start like that. And just for ease of mind, I will simply copy over the old color ramp. Jesus, this is lagging. Here you can see the full old material. We'll copy over that one, and this one. Okay. The new material. There we go. Just because this already has all of the colors set up and it makes my life a lot easier. So first off, for this one, which will be going into a mix color node like this. This goes into A, and then the result goes into the base color. For this one, I am using, here you can see the hex. If you want to copy this, and the other color is like this. Here you can see the hex of that too. If you want to copy it, doesn't matter. Then we put a noise texture like this. You put this to 4D FBM, which is just, yes. Maybe this I had, you can mess around with this, it doesn't really matter. Scale, I personally put to 5, detail to 15, roughness to maybe like this, it doesn't really matter, we can edit this later. So like that, you click. Do I have the screencast keys on? Yes, I do, great. But it doesn't show. Interesting. Then we do like this. Yes, now you can see the screencast keys. So now you click, hold on Control, click T, you get this. For this you need object, is important. Because otherwise it will just look weird. So this, the factor here goes into the color ramp. It also goes into the factor over here. And the factor over here. And then the alpha goes into the multiply there. Now we are starting to get something, but this is not it yet. This is just the bump basically. So now we are going to do this part here, which is in the original shader I have it a bit special saturation, so I will just copy that over again. This, of course, the colors, everything like that, you don't need to do the same as I do. You do whatever you want. That doesn't matter. If you want blue rust, if you want other colored rust, then just edit the colors. Does not matter. But I will just copy over this so I get roughly the same. Plug this into the color, and then the result of this goes into the other here with the mix. So now you see we have something like this. And down here we are going to plug in a Voronoi texture. This goes in there. So now we are starting to, basically the bumper starts to look weird. But this is okay. The scale should be 20. At least I use this. You can mess around however you want. Detail at 15. So it, yeah, now you can see it. It looks a bit more rusty. It's just not fully done yet. This lacunarity or whatever, I put this to 5.3 in the original shader, so I will just use that. And randomness to 3.0. Just write 3.0 in there. Doesn't matter. Then we do a noise texture for easy. I will just copy this and factor to the. Oh, I actually put the color to the vector. I'm not sure if this is properly done, but whatever, it works. This is going to be 3D. Scale at very high. Let's say 28. Detail at 15. Roughness at 0.5. And the rest is like that. If you want to distort it, you can, once again, all of these values, mess around with it however you want. It doesn't really matter, especially not for me. But let's distort it a little bit. And then here as well, Control T gives you this, and then object. Now you have this. Now the whole bumper looks very, very rusty. So this was the main shader, pretty much done. And I will leave a screenshot or something. Just like zoom into this so you can screenshot it if you want. So now we are going to be doing the other shader parts. Here we start with a noise texture. What this will do is this will give us the second part of the shader, which will be transparent, so we can bake it easily without any white outline or anything like that. So we put the factor in there, very easy. This color ramp is already set up, by the way, because I copied it over. It's full black and full white. Positions are like that. If you want to copy it, you can play around with that quite a bit. It will give you better possibilities. I just put that to 40 because I already have it like that. Roughness, maybe like this. Once again, mess around with this however much you like. I'm just doing what I did last time. Just looking at that. Control T again, so we get the texture coordinate and object, which is important. And then now you will take a mix shader, and I open this menu with Shift A. That's maybe have to tell you. So add a mix shader. You put this into the factor, and the second shader, as you can see now, we have like this. So this will need some editing, but basically here you pull up the detail. Now you can see it's proper rusty. You can move this however you want. You can move the scale of it however you want. You can move the color ramp if you want it like this or like this. It doesn't really matter. I will be playing around with this a bit more later. So transparent VDSF is the second one. You plug it into here, and that's what you get. And now Blender will start to lag because that's how Blender is today. So because whenever it's transparent, then it's like laggy. So I will just remove this for now. I will tweak the settings a little bit. This looks good to me, but I would prefer to have maybe a bit less rust overall, because yeah, something like this. And one thing with the shader is that it will give you just random spots, so you do not really have a brush or anything to particularly control it with other than essentially this thing here. Roughness, whatever, change it however you want. Yeah, if you want like this, you can have it like that. Let's say this is okay. This is good. So I go back to consistent. I just want to show you how this will look. And then now I pull it back. So this is how the rust will look. So, but the problem we have left is that, for example, up here, it's fully procedural, which is good, and it doesn't leave you these weird UV cutoffs, which is also good. However, it conflicts with the AO bake, so this we have to fix. The way you fix this is pretty simple, I think. You go back here onto your old blend file, and then you copy over a bunch of the stuff that you already sort of like this. Just copy all of this over, because now we will bake the texture. And the way we will bake, I just put it to solid just so it doesn't lag so much. But the way we will bake the texture is you go into 1 second, go into Shift A. Oh, wrong Shift A. Here. Shift A, search image texture, very easy. This is like how you do a basic AO bake in Blender. You put this to a new, I will do a, just for testing purposes, I'll do an 8K bake. Like this. And then you go over to the, I usually am in the shading part, so that's why. This I already baked one, so like that. 8K bake. And now we have to do the UV map, which I already, let's say I build a mirror like this, no problem. And for the purposes of testing, I will do a smart UV project. This actually turned out very good, so yeah, this will be usable. Of course, if you want to spend time unwrapping this manually, then you will most likely get better results. But just any UV map that doesn't directly overlap with something should work for this. So yes, like that, very good. And go back to shading. And now we will bake it right here. Cycles, GPU, this depends if you have a strong or weak GPU or CPU. I have a weak CPU and a mid GPU, so I use this. Samples, render, let's put 256. And then we bake, I will put a time limit of 60 seconds. Just because for the sake of the tutorial, if you're doing this in yourself, don't put a time limit because it'll ruin the bake. These are the textures combined, blah, blah, blah. Eventually you could probably, no, this doesn't even need to be enabled. Or for the sake of testing, I will enable it. I will enable it like this and put like this because I baked the old bumper, like this part, I baked with the AO factor 4. So just because of that, I put on FastGI approximation. So you click bake. Your PC will turn into a nuclear reactor. After an unreasonably long amount of time, we have finished the bake. It looks like this. It's dark because it has an AO bake on it, which is rather nice. So let's test it. The way we test it, very simple, is diffuse, and this is of course not related to the original shader. It's just because I don't want to bother making a new one. Put this in the color, put this into here, and then now we can open the shader again just because. Alright. This should be fine, yeah. The reason it's black is because it doesn't have a transparent attribute thing, but this is completely fine. Now you save this image to whatever, and then you apply it as a texture to basically whatever you want. In my use case, I'm going to apply it as a, let's see, where is the save image? Image, save as. Yeah, let's just put to Blender Projects 5.0, doesn't matter. And in my case, I'm going to apply it as an SCS material. And this is how you do that. I will just copy this. If.spec. Add vcalls to all. There we go. UV map. Now we have this as an SCS material. It looks pretty decent, I would say. You can edit it like with the contrast and everything. Just go into paint.net, edit the contrast. Specular for fully black because rust doesn't shine. Shininess doesn't matter. And then you click over. And boom, you now have a rusty bumper. Maybe if you want, you can do the diffuse down a bit like this. Get a bit down like that. And yeah, this is how you make rusty bumper. And this is how you put the shaders in it if you want it for truck sim. That's all.